praying before Christ in the Blessed Sacrament, I learned how to pray through music. Because what is prayer? In essence, it's surrendering my own ego and listening and entering into dialogue.
You know, a lot of people just resonate with music. It allows us to become vulnerable in ways that in another environment you wouldn't. You can go from being in a specific mindset or space into a completely different place.
At Liturgy Resources, we are excited for the new liturgical offering that God has called us to create. We've spent a lot of time and intentionality on our responsorial psalms to ensure true universality and accessibility for both musicians and congregations. We've sought to do this by collaborating with songwriters from all over the country to help us compose psalms for all 3 liturgical years, covering all Sundays, major feast days, solemnities, and more.
Since the time of David, when he wrote them 1,000 years before Jesus, people have been praying these words. These words have washed through the temple in Jerusalem for 1,000 years. They've washed in St. Peter's and every church throughout the entirety of the world. And so now that overcorrection that you're speaking of, it became less about the words and it became more about the self-expression within that chordal structure.
You know, there seems to be this modernization of responsorial psalms where there's a through composition, which can be done well, and it has been done well, but a lot of times because you're trying to structure a verse that does not have the same syllable count on every line, maybe has 5 lines instead of 4, and has absolutely 0 rhyme scheme, it lends itself to people trying to overdo it by making these crazy chord progressions or melodies or changing the text itself, which is not okay, right?
If you're talking about Catholic art, right, we're trying to speak truth, goodness, and beauty. Well, the truth is simple for us to portray because it's the text that we're using and we're not messing with the text. It's exactly verbatim from the readings. It's a tough balance to strike. Doing this together as a team, as a community, is really helpful in that regard. Because I would say the same. My prayer is not great, but the fact that we can all hold each other accountable to stay focused.
Yeah.
You know, egos kind of start to come into the room and things like that. It's like, that's not why we're here. We're here for a whole other thing.
I try to, when you're doing a take, stay in the emotion, stay in the moment, really commit to it, you know. And everything will be great.
Yeah. We'll do a run through of each psalm, a dry run through, and then we're going to take a moment of like personal, focused, silent prayer reflection.
And I'll take that crucifix from in there, put it in the vocal booth, and I have another one I'll put in that vocal booth. Yeah,
you know, it was Mason who came up with the idea of bringing a crucifix into the studio and literally having a moment where we just focus on Jesus and focus on why we're there for the right reasons before we actually do a take.
We call it the Jesus moment. And it's cool because everyone goes silent and it really does help you center, like, this is who we're praising, this is what this is for.
I don't think it's elevate as in you're going to bring something to lift up like what is already there, but is rather to lift up the congregation out of themselves and up towards Christ. Art is intended to draw us out of ourselves.
Keep that intentionality with what is my primary focus here, what is my goal? It's to glorify God, it's to serve Him, to love Him. And how He does that is up to Him. You know, I just have to cooperate.
I mean, the Lord is using us as a vessel, and He's using our particular hearts.
It's not about my personal preference. At the end of the day, was Christ made present on the altar?
We have been blessed to partner with the Catholic record label Novum Records to record over 250 of our responsorial psalms to make high-quality professional recordings. We've also made those available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, everywhere you stream music, including YouTube. Our format is intended to bridge the gap between contemporary and traditional styles with a metered refrain and chanted verses. As you'll hear in the recordings, our psalms are intentionally arranged to sound good in any physical space, whether your church is a small room or a reverb-rich cathedral.
God mounts his throne to shouts of joy, a blare of trumpets for the Lord.
We encourage you to go to liturgyresources.com to learn more about what we're doing, sign up for free weekly responsorial psalms, or purchase any of our resources. And we're excited to be looking ahead.